Howdy and aloha, everyone. This is James with Mana Talk. Mana meaning mystical Polynesian power, and talk meaning use your words. And there's some new words, actually, videos coming out that are, in my opinion, solidifying or confirming or verifying what I had talked about since early or mid 2020. And let me just give you a clip of basically where I was at. And this isn't the oldest video. This is kind of everything put together. And I was really trying to warn a lot of people on what was going on with the thing that everybody was trying to say that was safe and effective. The thing that was supposed to get rid of COVID-19. The thing that was supposed to help billions of people. The thing that was supposed to keep COVID-19 from transmitting to other people, which we found out was completely false. The thing that we only needed to take once, which they said everywhere, mainstream media, you name it. But people have taken it several times and are still getting sick, flu, bronchitis, whatever. That's not what it was designed for. It wasn't designed to help you in any way. It doesn't increase. It actually does the opposite of what had been advertised. And the data that had finally been released, but which they wanted to hold, wanted to hide for 50 years, and then they tried to ask the Supreme Court to hide it for 75 years, which didn't happen. And thankfully Trump, who was fooled by Fauci, in my opinion, seriously fooled. I've always said, I've said this since early 2020. Fauci was the greatest pharmaceutical rep on the planet, period. And I knew pharmaceutical reps back in 2012, 2010, 2012, way back. And they were always making good money. All you needed was a degree and the ability to carry equipment and set up fine dining or conventions, or send food and bring gifts and gift cards and all kinds of things from Big Pharma or your employers as a pharmaceutical rep, and entice these doctors that are, most of them are greedy, corrupt bastards. If you're Dr. Smith or Dr. Bob or whatever it is, recommended and continues to say, hey man, I know you're sick, I know you broke something, I know you're ill, or whatever the case may be, you should take one of these, you need to run. You need to get the fuck out of that office as fast as possible. Because all they care about is taking care of their donor. That's it. That is since the Flexner report came out in 1910-ish. That's what it was. That's what it was created for. To push the snake oil, the real actual snake oil, the poisonous, venomous snake oil, and they didn't care. They wanted to use whatever they could to create this industry, which exploded. Colleges, universities, community colleges were getting grants and money, and foundations were created. Non-governmental organizations, NGOs were made and created and orchestrated and built around the pharmaceutical industry. It was tremendous to watch. It was impressive, actually, but in a very alarming and extremely dangerous way. And nobody knows this. The advertising, the marketing, the public relations, the business to business, the sales of it was planned and perfectly orchestrated. And there's tons of videos. I can show you a bunch of those on how that happened and who did it, who's involved, and how it got so big. But the bottom line had nothing to do about your health. Nothing to do about your health. It had nothing to do about your wellness. And it had nothing to do, definitely, about your longevity. Their goal was to make a shit ton of money off of basically something that does not have a cure. It's just to suppress a symptom or something of that nature. There was nothing, and still to this day. I mean, the opioid, and I've showed this commercial several times. You can look it up. The same opioid commercial that has the word opioid addiction and whatever, and these people that are supposedly addicted to opioids is still around. It's been around for like 15 years. And people still, this is what got me about the Demoncrats. And you're now, if you don't get it by now, you're a Demoncrat. I can't, since Charlie Kirk and the way you guys acted, I used to think that the Democratic Party and the leaders, and there are a few demon Republicans in my opinion too. There's a few. I think there's one here about her name is Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski. Says she might switch to parties to become a Democrat because she's totally in bed with Big Pharma, like Tom Thune and a bunch of others that are totally and completely entrenched in this money. A lot. Okay. Good. Let me leave that. It's terrible. It's terrible. So I'm going to show you this video. It's done by Dr. Campbell. The video is not done by Dr. Campbell, but he got it from one of his whoever people. And it kind of it kind of shows. I'm going to show this video, and then I'm going to show where I'm at. Wait, sorry. Let me show where I'm at first. Where I was at. All right? Here. Howdy and aloha, everybody. This is James with Monotalk. Tonight... Oh, I got it on slow. Sorry. A reverse Jenga, in a sense. Let me fix this. I got to move this a little faster. Playback speed. We're going to go to here. Make it a little faster. It's kind of what's going on with this pandemic. It's just, or scamdemic, or plandemic, whatever you want to call it. It's just gotten out of control. And I have been kind of following the money a little bit, but at the same time, I've put together kind of a collage of what's going on. This was done, like I said, I'd done a bunch of videos. This is probably one that wasn't really part of community guidelines. And I immediately took it down once I think I got a strike on it or whatever the case may be. But I think we're okay to play it in faster motion. Let's jump into it. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, here we go. Look, my hair's a little darker. I made that. If you can see that, I made that picture and I had it up all over the place. Because that's what it was about. Suffocating with money an M95 mask. Just a giant one that's not real, but I did a pretty good job the way I did that on paint, by the way. So so let's jump into it. Here we go. Okay? So if you do follow the money of this thing, you completely realize, and you just can't not realize, that basically what you're looking at is billions of dollars being thrown into a giant fire, creating a giant fire. It's hitting, and the money's not wasted. It's going somewhere. A good journalist will follow the money. We just don't have those anymore. Yeah, we don't have it. I haven't seen a journalist really in detail get the data of what's happening
with the money and where it's going, since people like Julian Assange, definitely. So I'm not a journalist, but I play one on YouTube. So that's basically what's going on. I try to keep this simple. So if you follow this money and if you look at all this, there's money flying from all over the place, right? Thanks to Citizens United. Thanks to McCutcheon versus the FEC. Thanks to special interest groups, lobbyists, the donor class, the predator class, like I like to call them, and the corporate elite. I mean, look at this. Look at the.
Again, this was done in December of 2020. There are many before that.
These totals of money that's been thrown at this current election. Look at this money, and I would say maybe a tenth of it, or maybe not even that, came from the U.S. voting republic.
Yeah, the people.
By our dollars, by our 10, 20, 30, 40, $100, whatever we can throw at whatever candidate. But most of this money that you're seeing here, I mean, we're talking billions of dollars being thrown at these just pathetic candidates that are bought and sold. And, I'll show you why. So the biggest thing is advertising. Okay, there's a marketing, advertising, publicity, branding, logo, facilitating process out there that many of you just do not completely understand, but it's there. But it's gigantic. And the major reason why most of you will move in a certain direction or go in a certain direction. And we're talking data here as from January 1st just to May 27th. You're talking $2.3 billion in advertising. There's 96,000 advertisers out there that are moving money in so many different ways for these two political parties. And there's like...
Okay. I'm not going to play the whole video, but I want you guys to know that I was there. And I was talking about it. And that I was seriously concerned about my kids, I don't know if I had grandkids at that time. No, I don't think, no. Yeah, I did. My grandson, Richard, he was the only one. But, God, I miss this kid. He's what I thought about. My granddaughter is what I thought about. My kids, for sure, is what I definitely thought about. All my kids. And I definitely thought about the people I loved and adored and appreciated and cared about, which I still do, which I still do during that time. And I cared about a lot of people at the time. There was one person that I was just dumbfounded at in regards to there's this guy here. I was concerned about him.
I am not feeling good. I'm having effects from the second vaccine. I took the Moderna, and I'm getting shortness of breath and pain in my chest, and what feels like pain in my heart. I don't know if you're supposed to be able to feel your heartbeat. I never did before. And just so you know, my doctor said my doctor is treating 5 people just like me. Our producer went to the doctor today. His doctor is treating 7 people just like this. So there you go. And it's funny when I tweet about this, when I tweet about my actual experience, half the people on Twitter call me a sucker for getting the vaccine because I believe the government, even though I listen to my doctors. And then the other half say that I have a shady agenda. Hey, I'm the one living with the fucking results of this fucking vaccine, you cunt.
That's your fault, Jimmy. That's your fault. That's your fault, buddy. I love what you do. You do some good stuff out there, but there were people like me that were trying our hardest to reach out to you to say, just don't do it. And this, I believe this video, I think that video was done Now, I did that the day after, I think, that video right there, which was done on, I was in June 1st. He'd taken two already. That was his second one. June 1st. The other one was December 13th, 2020. And all I'm saying, and I think this is important for people to see, and I got to say this, you're going to want to know. You're going to want to know because these guys here help orchestrate all this, and I'm still extremely distraught and disturbed that it's probably Letnick. I'm pretty sure it's Letnick, who entrusts people like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg that were at that dinner a week or so ago, maybe a few weeks, whatever, at Mar-a-Lago or the White House or wherever, and they were sitting down, and Melania, beautiful Melania, wonderful Melania, fantastic Melania, was sitting next to the most diabolical, genocidal maniac monster on the planet right next to her, and she could sense the evil. I could see it in her body language. And then next to Trump was this puppet, right? This puppet. It could be a CIA puppet. I'm always like, why is the CIA always in every shit, every piece of crap that happens out there? We found out that they're part of. So why are they even around? And there are so many movies on how these awesome CIA agents and FBI, they're so fantastic. There's, when you start seeing those, that's when you should start connecting the dots, right? But here's the biggest point that I wanted to point out to everybody. Is you're going to want to know, because these guys here, you're going to want to know the question no one is asking, is there a medical procedure or test that a person could take, maybe through their saliva or through their blood or through a sample, a hair, whatever, hair sample, I don't know, or detect if they have any type of the COVID mRNA vaccine in their bodies or blood system? Don't you want to know? Because you're going to want to know. More people are wanting to know more than anything, and I think this is gigantic because I'm going to tell you. I've got to tell you this. There's just so much information out there that's just the worst. It is the worst, and it's just getting worse. And the more this year goes on, the more is being put out there on X. We won't see a lot of it on Facebook because Facebook is still very woke. Facebook is still very indoctrinated. Facebook is still completely just got it. A lot of people, but there's more information that's being allowed, which is good. I mean, free speech. Google, YouTube, ABC, free speech, right? Guys, remember that. Class action lawsuit, I hope it's coming. Okay. So this little picture here, this is the test, right? COVID-19 A and B adjuvant test kit. I wonder what happened to the flu, right? Because what's interesting is 2016, 2017, 29 million people got the flu. 2017, 2018, 45 million people had the flu. Just the flu. You take Tamiflu, you take a little, you get you take, what is that, bronchitis, I forgot the name of the fuck. There's stuff you could buy over the counter. You can just guzzle whatever the fuck they gave you. And I'd say about 99.9% of the people were fine because they just got their yearly flu, or they just take their regular flu shot, which I took a vaccine in 2019. But that vaccine was your regular, aluminum filled whatever particle Johnson & Johnson, I think, vaccine I took, right? And by the way, the doctor got a little something for having that. They got a little something for giving that flu shot to me, because like they all do. Everybody got $40, $50. Some hospitals, some states were giving lots of money by our own government. Thousands of dollars. Just if somebody passed away claiming they were unalived by the fluvid. Isn't that crazy? 2018-19, 36 million. 2019-2020, 38 million. And then for some weird reason, this is why I call it Fluvid-19. All of a sudden, there's 0.0015 million, which is nobody. And all of a sudden, there's 32 million people that had COVID, but not the flu. So I proved that the, what was it called? What was the fuck was the test? Was the PSA, forget it. Kerry Mullins created the test, the PCR test, right? And I showed on this channel over and over again that was a ridiculous test, because what that test really tested for, right? And I don't know if I have that picture of that. I don't think I do. But anyway, let me get this out of the way. What that tested for, the PCR test, which everybody was using, I almost went to Hawaii until we had to take that fucking test before we went there, and it was just a pain in the ass to do, and I wasn't going to get the results in time, and it was all that shit. That probably would have changed my mind. I think it would have changed everything. I wish to God that would have happened. But anyway. That test was created to indicate if your immune system, your body has a defense system, an automatic immune system that triggers when you're cut, bruised, you've got an infection, you've got some kind of disease, you've got the flu. Your body is an amazing. It also heals and repairs itself automatically. Horses don't really have that for their bones. I don't know if you know that, but so we're pretty fucking special. And we're not like an iguana. We can just grow a limb back. We're not Wolverine or Deadpool. But anyway, so that test was created to see if those. If your body was heightened, I'm trying to find the damn word, but you can go look it up yourself, because I had the information. I put it all over this show. If you need information for it, I can find it. I've got tons of files on this. I posted them on Facebook. I posted them on Twitter /X. I put them in a bunch of places. They're out there. But what that test was for is just if your immune system heightened, it would trigger your DNA in a sense to block itself. So it doesn't matter. There were people going into the hospital and they were getting tested positive with that PCR test, and they had like injuries, just regular, any injury, because that's what your body did automatically, and that's what the PCR test actually fucking tested for. And Kerry Mullins got the Nobel Prize for it. And then mysteriously, he died in 2019, in July. Isn't that weird? The guy that could have proved, who didn't like Fauci, he hated Fauci. He hated Anthony Fauci. And I hated, but he thought that he was just a scam artist. And he was dead right. No pun intended. But he was right. Okay? And this is amazing. And during this time, right, if we were labeled I was labeled as a potential terror threat because I was trying to warn people of this thing. I was trying my hardest to warn people of this thing. And what is this thing? It was nothing. It was, if you didn't follow the science, which is proven to be total and utter bullshit, it became a religious thing, and they got people to worship it. And what was amazing to me is there were so many people, right? There were so many people that knew that Big Pharma was a giant scab, and these were a ton of liberals. These were a ton of Democratic Party supporters that all of a sudden flipped. There were people that I was talking to in my chat, in my rooms here on YouTube. Sometimes I'd have 8 people, 12 people, 15, 20 people talking in these rooms. And I think some of those people are gone, or they're ashamed to come back here. I know Eric's been back. I know Cheryl's been back. Snork's been back a bunch of times. Right? Who else has been back? A couple others. Basemi. God, that guy was awesome. And we're all together on this. Right? But the thing is you were labeled opposition to COVID measures, claims of election fraud, belief Trump can be reinstated, 9/11 anniversary, and religious holidays. You were a terrorist. That's on the web. That was on the website. Look at that's from NBC. That's you were banned. Associated Press for Freedom lost under Bush, the Patriot Act. Freedom of association, freedom of information, freedom of speech, rights to legal presentation, freedom from unreasonable search and seizure, right to a speedy and public trial. NDAA, which Obama helped push and throw out there a little harder. National Defense Authorization Act was terrible. And I was telling everybody, demand your constitutional freedoms. I was fighting for us. But there were a lot of people that were just buying this. They were just buying it left and right. It was so sad. You know, I was telling people, I'm going, come on, man. You know, come on. Right? I was saying, see all these people with masks on? If you can see it. You can see it. Right? And they were going in the direction of the New World Order. Big Pharma was a part of it. World Health Organization, definitely a part of it. I've proven that over and over again. World Health Organization, World Economic Forum, Chatham House, a bunch of other fucking NGOs out there. Non-governmental organizations or entities that should be listed as terrorist threats, which I think Trump is going to start doing. And they were pushing a New World Order. Bow down to us. Sponsored by the pharmaceutical industry and all these people with masks. Conform. Do what I tell you. Right? And then a couple people, then one guy stood up. Who's that guy right there? Who do you think that guy is? Who is that guy? Who is trying to help you, trying to protect you, trying to put these dots together. And I'm not a genius. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. But most of this stuff is blatantly just common sense. Why would I want to take something that's completely indemnified, which I can't sue them for, and they're trying to hide the data from me? Why in the fuck would I want that? Right? I just did, and then they started and then when the new technology came out, I'm like, what the fuck is that shit? What is that shit? Well, this video here, is this the one? Yeah, right here. I thought I had it ready to go. I guess not. Okay, here we go. This video here is probably going to be a commercial first. Yep, it is. This video here, my friend, I'll get back to my story there. Okay. I'm going to play this a little faster. And I'm going to stop it because it's just a smart thing to do. Because I still don't trust fucking boob tube at all. I don't think anybody else does. Skip. So watch this. Dr. Campbell and this lady here. Right? They're showing some really interesting information.
Let's give it a go. So we're looking at this first clip now from Urki. So we see a needle releasing lipid nanoparticles. And then we see all these lipid nanoparticles. So that's presumably sticking in your muscle somewhere and squirting in lots and lots of lipid nanoparticles.
In your bum.
So just before we look at the circulation there, Claire, these lipid nanoparticles, I did a quick calculation once, and it seems that each vaccine dose contains thousands of billions of them, probably several trillion of these lipid nanoparticles. So they're absolutely tiny things.
They are, and I think that there isn't something we can compare them to particularly. It's a new technology, and the tinyness of them it needs to be understood in terms of other things in the body, because you can't because they're much smaller than anything else that we have sort of dealt with.
And what's interesting is they're man-made. They're created to attach to, and watch this.
In any one lipid nanoparticle. But so this video is sort of the pharma story of what they ought to have looked like.
Yeah, these are the ideal lipid nanoparticles, and I've actually got a diagram I've just produced here. It's pretty basic, but it shows a red blood cell. So the big red circle is the red blood cell, and the small dots are the lipid nanoparticles.
That's the size. The creator of the atom bomb, the creator of seed oils, and now the creator of this have created this. Now, like I said, this is my own perspective, this is my own theories, but I've come to the conclusion that it's very, very bad. I mean, I don't know the word to use.
And the AI tells me that this line across the middle, that you can get 87 lipid nanoparticles will fit across one red blood cell. So we're assuming that the red blood cell is about 7 micrometers. That's 7,000ths of a millimeter description. And these graphics we're looking at today come from inside the mRNA vaccines, but this is just well, generously has given us permission to share these just for general teaching purposes, which of course is remarkably generous. So this is the bit with.
He's being facetious. Can you hear it in his voice? God, sometimes, I don't mean to sound like I'm talking over you or above you. I'm just so frustrated. It's just so, with all the obvious crap that has been happening to us in a tsunami of craziness and delusional activities and treasonous criminal activities since the beginning of 2020. You can't let that go.
Seeing, Claire, so we've injected these.
And it's frustrating. And I want you to know that I fucking tried.
lipid nanoparticles. Is there any physiological equivalence of sort of lipid nanoparticles in the body? I mean, when we were given these lipid nanoparticles, will the body sort of say, "Oh, these are lipid nanoparticles, I know what they are," or is it something new?
It's new, and I was just thinking through when you said that about what we don't know, because the problem is, we've got electron microscopy that can show things that are really very small, but I'm not sure it can really resolve down to a few nanometers like that. So I'm not sure we've ever been able to know what's there at that scale, actually.
Yeah.
It's sort of become, they get taken up in what's called endocytosis. So the membrane kind of takes a drink of the liquid that's around the cell and takes it into the cell. So it's an active process to bring it in. It's not just slipping in, but when it's in there, it's acting on the cell, and the cell doesn't necessarily have the mechanism to say, "I'm being hijacked," and alert the immune system.
Right, I hadn't fully appreciated that, Claire. So I'd assumed that the two...
They get taken up in what's called endocytosis. So the membrane kind of takes a drink of the liquid that's around the cells that our cells can detect as viral invasion, whereas the lipid nanoparticles just they get taken up in what's called endocytosis. So the membrane kind of takes a drink of the liquid that's around the cell and takes it into the cell. So it's an active process to bring it in. It's not just slipping in, but when it's in there, it's acting on the cell, and the cell doesn't necessarily have the mechanism to say, "I'm being hijacked," and alert the immune system.
Right, I hadn't fully appreciated that, Claire. So I'd assumed that the two cell membranes kind of come together, and the lipid part of the lipid nanoparticle stayed outside, but the whole lipid nanoparticle goes into the cell. So you end up with this foreign lipid as well as the mRNA actually inside the cytosol of the cell.
That's right, and I'd also made that mistake. I'd also assumed it was just sort of membrane fusion that was happening at the cell surface, and it does happen like in the endosome once it's in. But I think it's quite an important distinction, because a lot of people have got worried about, cells that have had lipid nanoparticles in. If they're coming in just by sort of, passing through a membrane, they could just as easily come back out again. And so there was this kind of fear of what's going in the other direction. But I think because it's an active endocytosis that's bringing it in, it's mostly a one-way street.
So do we actually know what happens to this foreign lipid material once it's inside the cell?
Well, I mean, actually, I just realised I was saying all this and sounding very definite about it. Of course, all of this is sort of based on, it is based on some work, but it's. I think you always have to sort of cage it with uncertainty. We don't know everything, do we?
Heck no. I mean, we do have this process called phagocytosis, so we know that this process occurs.
Yes.
Materials taken inside a cell, but that we normally associate that with neutrophils and macrophages and defense cells, don't we?
Yeah. So the phagocytosis is where you're gobbling up material debris around the cell and then using the inside of the cell to destroy it. So you're sort of mopping up dead things or mopping up things that shouldn't be there. Whereas this endocytosis, all the cells do it, and it's a way for them to kind of they pick up sort of what's going on in the environment around them. It allows them to uptake other things as well that can.
I've got to add something here, because as soon as she started saying basic words like the defense system, and your body automatically creates a clotting. And I think the clots that we've had the myocarditis from and a few other things, and this could be a theory, is that the body at a deeper than DNA immune defensive system attacks this foreign object once it's exposed, because it's encased in a protein. It's disguised, but once it's exposed, it starts to create. It knows, oh shit, this isn't part of us. This isn't a part of this machine, and they attack it, and they try to eject it some way, but it doesn't really have anywhere to go. So remember I said that. Just remember, because that's what I believe this is going on. And I've thought of this, of those clots that have been happening in so many people throughout, I don't know, a long time. And then it also attacks the immune system and that's all other shit. It's just terrible. But if we go a little further,
You're in the same ballpark now.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think the last estimate I heard was probably about 70 trillion cells in the body.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So you tenfold out, only one for every 10 cells. That's quite an astonishing number.
yeah. So we've got potential here. Potential, given that we've got systemic distribution of lipid nanoparticles, and that's no longer a debate, and we'll see that in a minute. For transfection in multiple cells.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to be realistic about gradients and concentration.
yeah, I've watched this, but here's the biggest issue, and I posted these on Facebook, and this is what these things create.
Start with, like, obviously, it's happening at a scale your eyes can't see, but it gets to a scale where it becomes microscopic and you can see it coalescing, and then they start to form rectangular crystals, which are cholesterol crystals, because most of the lipid in a lipid nanoparticle is cholesterol.
Oh, wow.
And when cholesterol crystallizes, it looks really
This part I didn't see yet.
inorganic. You get right angles, perfect right angles, of the rectangle, usually with the corner missing. Or you get, if you look at those in the other dimension, they look like needles because you're cutting them across the other way. So the point is that if you heat it on the light from a microscope for long enough, you start to see the whole thing coalesce into crystals, which are relatively enormous. And so it all depends, I guess, on how long they've been there, what temperature they've been at, as to how much coalescence has gone on. And if you get the big ones, then probably less likely to end up in a vessel unless it's injected directly into a vessel, which can happen. So Mark Girardi's done a lot of work on this. Do you know his bolus?
Yes, I've talked to him several times.
Yeah. So the whole idea being that you've got that sort of, when you inject into a muscle, you're putting in liquids into a space where there wasn't a space. So
I think you're starting to understand, if you're paying attention to this, these things I didn't really know. But if you didn't know, and now they're releasing the information after it's already been done. I would say at least, I believe the number is 48%, according to, I don't think it's more than half, a little over 40% or 40 something percent of the global population has taken or supposedly taken the mRNA for COVID-19 vaccine. I could be off. I could be off. All I know, it's a lot of fucking people. So 3 to 4 billion, because there's 8 billion people, right, on the planet. Most of them Demoncrats. Most of them liberal supporters. Most of them woke. Most of them, I don't know, fucking druggies who, I don't know. So, let me go back to here, and I've got to show you this, because I think it's important that you know this. Again, we need to know. I'm going to keep reiterating this, because I think it's important for us to know. And these people here, right, should be in jail. Especially this guy with the glasses at the mid-right. And especially the guy right there who sold everybody on that fucking bullshit. Right? But I always like to show this one because I think this is huge. This is extremely huge. On October 12th, 2022, one of the prime ministers of Europe questioned J. Small, some person that worked directly with Pfizer, and asked the question: vaccines never tested on preventing transmission. Was the Pfizer COVID vaccine tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market? If not, please say it clearly. And she giggles. She fucking giggles. I watched you can see the video. And I think it says Pfizer there at the bottom. I circled it. Let me just see if you can see it. Yeah, it says Pfizer there, right? And her answer was regarding the question around whether we knew about stopping immunization before it entered the market. No. These, we had to, and she went on. But the answer was no. The answer was no. Again, so they clearly, and then you were able to say it. And this was, I think, this is 2020. This is after mostly everybody on the planet had already taken it. They didn't care at that point. Half their end game job was done. And these people are gone now, thank you to... So this, and then what's really terrifying is a few days later, the 12th and the 19th of 2022, these assholes at the CDC, which I believe are gone now. I think these are the main people that RFK Jr. got rid of. This Center on Disease Control panel voted 15-0 to add COVID vaccinations for the vaccines for a children program per the schedule. And when I was a kid, there were 4 to 6 vaccines. Now there's 50. It's fucking insane. It's insane. And if you think they're all worth it for you, then, that's... Anyway, so all these shitheads, I outed them. Who they are. They're all getting paid by Big Pharma. We all know that, right? Fuck the World Economic Forum. And it's sad, because they don't care. These people really don't give a shit about you. Because most of it is ran... Right? Most of it is ran. Does anybody hear me? Hold on. Is anybody out there? Maybe there's somebody here. Hang on. Over the top. What do we got? Oh, hey, Cheryl. Sorry. Big Pharma is evil, in my opinion. The predator, World Economic Forum predators are corrupt. Yep, for sure. Do you hear that about TikTok? Yeah. I know. Yeah, I'm trying to get my account back, but that's probably not going to happen. And here's your problem. This is what it would look like if the government was actually transparent. They do not work for you. I'm telling you, most of them do not work for you, nor have they. Right? Look at all the advertisements. You got BlackRock, you've got BP, Raytheon. Right there in the back right is Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, CNN, Pfizer, Council on Foreign Relations, World Economic Forum, Chatham House, Bilderberg meetings, Rothschilds, Act Blue, Fox News, MSNBC, AstraZeneca, Merck. I mean, it's all in there. Exxon, MSNBC. It's all. They're all in there. Right? And they don't give a fuck about you. They don't care. They've never cared about you. Right? I thought this was interesting too, and I've had this up many times. Right? And this is why I want to know. This is why I want to freaking know. What did I do with that picture? Right here, this one. This is why I want to know this, is because of this. List of employers not required their employees to get vaccinated. This is true. The White House, they weren't required. It was on voluntary, but yet a lot of companies and governmental agencies and the military mandated it for a lot of people. The White House, the CDC, the FDA, the WHO, Moderna, Pfizer. Just, wow, isn't that interesting? AstraZeneca people didn't have to take it. Moderna people didn't have to take it. The people telling you to take it didn't have to fucking take it. Isn't that alarming? I mean, doesn't that just say it? I don't know how else, because I found that out early in 2020 as well. This thing's coming out. Is everybody indemnified? Does everybody have to take it? And that was more around when I did that video, actually, as I remember. But I'm saying to you, if they're not taking it, then why the fuck did you take it? Why? I'm telling you why. I was telling you in that video why. The marketing, the advertising, the public relations. It's so huge. You are battling a gigantic monster out there. They create the woke agenda. Trans men with swinging dicks and balls can fucking compete in women in sports. That's okay. They made it appear like it's okay. And if you talk bad about it, it's bad. You're a racist. You're a Nazi. You're this, that, and the other thing. While there were actually women getting their asses beat up on the fields, in the rings, in the courts, in the arenas by men. You know, I never saw in any college game, and I like watching college girls softball. I think it's fucking cool. Those chicks are badass, and it's not an easy sport. My first wife was a great pitcher, by the way, and I used to throw stuff that used to come out at me like this, and I was a good baseball player. I was pretty good. I think I threw over 90 when I was, 94 when I was 16 or 17. But anyway, I was hard to catch that ball. And the mound is so close. I mean, I can think I pissed that far, honestly. I mean, that's pretty amazing itself, but it's just really close. So it's tough, but those girls don't have men playing in those sports. There's no way they were going to let that happen. They tried to do it in gymnastics. There are still a few woke colleges, but here's the people that are pushing the jab, right? I wonder why they keep pushing the jab, lobbying billions. Pharmaceutical health products. Big Pharma spent $306.23 billion, right? Electronic manufacturing, insurance companies spent, real estate spent this much. Lobbying. When a communist becomes a lobbyist, he gets a 1,452% raise. And this is the biggest, saddest part about this is as soon as these people are done in Congress, whether it's at the state or federal level, okay, House Representatives or the Senate, at the state or the Capitol, the larger federal level, they become lobbyists. All of them. I would say at least 85 to 90% of them, because why wouldn't, after you leave Congress, want to get a raise like that? It's like you're jumping from making $10 an hour to $150 an hour. That's what it is. All of a sudden you were making $10 an hour, now you're making $150 an hour, lobbying and having connections and talking to and hypnotizing and greasing and putting them under the table and whining and dining and Epsteining or whatever the fuck you're doing to those Congress people, right? And some of it, I'm sure, is very shady. But this is crazy that they were the largest contributors in 2020 and 2021. What does that say? I mean, I'm connecting the dots. I mean, look, I got it from my mom, but for some reason she has. I think she lost. She doesn't like to connect dots anymore. It's really crazy. Right? Private investor, licensed since 1989. But there's just so much information out there that's saying, what the fuck are we doing? Right? And Trump's starting to see this. Right? And I was telling everybody, which I think this is important to show, all the mutant variants that have came out, all these advertisers, these are the advertisers for Big Pharma, sent tons of money to all these various news, cable, media, print, commercialized corporations, right? Look at this: the Slate, MSNBC, Axios, PBS for sure, and then everybody involved: FDA, CNN, NIH. There's the big CFR, Council on Foreign Relations, World Health Organization, World Economic Forum down there. I thought that's where a lot of the money was coming from. And they would put it out on Reuters. They put it out on Fox. They put it out on MSNBC. They put it out on Hawaii News Now. They put it on Telegram. They put it on WordPress. They put it on LA Times, New York Times, just everywhere. And you were saturated with it. Everything, you're saturated. You're bombarded. What you need to do is watch everything. And that's hard to do. I'm going to tell you right now that when the way I do things, and a lot of people can't absorb this much information, it's hard, is I'll watch all of it. I'll spend maybe an hour, hour and a half, maybe a day, or every other day or something like that, and I'll just check all the information from this side, and this side, all over the place. And then I'll put together, just by using, and I don't want to call it critical thinking, because I want to call it more of just, basic fucking common sense. I go, well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, why would somebody do that? Well, that just seems wrong. And I'll question it. Take it like a grain of salt at first. But then sometimes, and I've been wrong about things, but this that I'm talking about today, yeah, the thing everybody's going to want to know, people. You're going to want to know what the fuck is going on with this thing. I'm telling you right now, you're going to want to fucking know what the fuck is going on with this thing and why in the hell are people still not wanting to know if they have it. And my biggest concern is this guy here. I got to type this in real quick. Give me just a second. Gates Foundation commits $258.3 million for malaria research. It's not the kind of research you think. Production of a transgenic mosquito as a flying syringe. I am not fucking around. All right? I'm going to show you this, and I want you to see it, because you're going to want to know if it's in you. And every time I get fucking tagged by a mosquito anywhere outside, I'm like, oh, I got it. Because I know I didn't take it, but I may have it now. And all it takes is one or a couple. The production of a transgenic mosquito as a flying syringe to deliver productive vaccines via Sylvia. It's in here. This is part of Gates' Fund. This is what he does. All right? And I'm going to show you here. That's how he wants to give it to you. And that's true. What does that say at the top right? Oh, yeah, the Gates, top left. The Gates Foundation. This is what they want. This is how he wants to administer The genocidal bioweapon. That's what it is. If you knew more about Gates, you'd know that he's eugenicist. He's admitted, him and Melinda, him and his people, him and his Aryan group, Aryan, or Auschwitz Nazism, or whatever the fuck they are, admit it. Proud of it. His dad was. Kellogg was. Kellogg Cornflakes. Go watch the movie. The guy, I'm trying to remember the actor's name. But that's crap too. That cereal is like the worst thing you could eat. When it first came out, it was pretty good because most of the product was very simple. But now there's these dyes and chemicals, and I mean the list of ingredients to create the cereal back in the 70s and the 80s is not the same as what it is now. They've added all kinds of genocidal products. And I call them genocidal products because that's what they are. Big Pharma doesn't make money off of healthy people. If you say they do, then there's something wrong with you. If you can look me in the eye and say, hey, Jim, Big Pharma makes and does and acts on your health and wellness. If you can say that with a straight fucking face, then you've probably taken the booster like 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7, whatever, 20 times. Guaranteed. I guarantee you that. Fuck. Crazy. Yeah. That guy. The guy here. Bill Gates. Right? And all these fuckers right here pushing this shit. So you're going to want to know this question pretty soon. And that's why I'm asking people, you've got to freaking find out who and what and where and what the fuck is going on. All right. I think I'm kind of good with that. Remember, just remember this, please remember this. Do not forget this. Because I used to make this for wars. I remember putting this out in 2017. I created this, right? Most dangerous weapon is not a gun. The most dangerous weapon is a media that is controlled by a government that's controlled by the 1%. That's it. Remember the lobbyist part? And then when COVID came around, the most dangerous weapon is not a gun. The most dangerous weapon is a media that is controlled by the government, that is controlled by the predator class or corporate elite. Exactly. And then what is that on the left there? It's a syringe. I'm fucking telling you. It's like I'm still trying to help you, and most of you people are gone. There's nothing I can do for you. There's really nothing more I can do for you. I'm sad to say that there's a lot of people out there that are just gone, and there's nothing more I can do for you. I can't help you. I can't save you. You've already done enough damage. You probably would have hung out for another 5 or 10, 15 years, but I'm gonna say that's not the case, right? But if these shitheads, where are they? Damn it, where are they? Anyway. Oh, hey Cheryl. Hey Jordan. Hey Jordan, how you doing, buddy? If these shitheads get back and are able to do this more, right? If Bill Gates is still allowed to roam free on this planet, we're fucked. If they don't take down Fauci, then we're really fucked, or anybody in his immediate circle. So the best way to do this is if he's found guilty, then that automatically makes the manufacturers, Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, et cetera, Novavax, and all these other, Merck, or whoever, liable. Then that opens up discovery and it makes them liable. So that's what we want. We want the king players or the people involved in this that made that were involved to be convicted. And I'm sorry to say, I got to throw this out there, that maybe Trump may not be in a good spot unless he can prove that he was lied to. If he can show, it's going to be easy to show, if he can show that all the information, all the data and everything, because like I said, Fauci's been a great pharmaceutical rep for over 30 years. Kerry Mullins, who created the PCR test that had the Nobel Prize, and a few others knew that Fauci was just a big scam artist for Big Pharma. Right? A lot of people know that. Right? I have to get this up in all of my videos because I'm still pissed off about this. Where is our tallow, JFK? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Right? This is how French fries were made until the late 80s. Fresh hand-cut russet potatoes, beef tallow, and salt. And they were delicious. Now, potatoes, soybean oil, natural beef flavor contains what a milk derivative dextrose, a form of sugar used to maintain consistent color, sodium acid, pyrophosphate, used to preserve color and prevent graying, salt. Just junk. And you got them hot and you got them fresh, and they guaranteed that your fries were fresh. This is a guarantee from McDonald's. I remember that if you didn't get your fries hot, you could take them back. You can eat them. I'm telling you, you were able to eat like most of the fries. This is what I used to do, and take some back and go, these were really not even warm. Could I get another one? Yes, right away. There was no, I don't know if they still do that. I don't think they do. You have to take it back in full. But man, I always have at least 1 3/4 fries. That's all I'm saying. Because I take back my large fries. I would take back the large, but I didn't get fat. I didn't get fat from that. I was fucking, once they changed that, I remember myself and a lot of people started getting really fat. Once tallow went away, I got pretty big. In the late 80s, 90s, and then the 2000s. Yeah. Because I kept eating the stuff that was supposedly made of tallow, but it wasn't. Now I use avocado oil, coconut oil, olive oil. I try to use as much tallow as I can. I have lard as well. All right, so I'm just saying, you need to know about this. Let me go here. We're going to go back to, where are we at? Yeah, here we go. All right. I got to tell you this right now. This, and I fucking just dig this chick. She reminds me of somebody I used to be married to. You know, she was right there in that caliber, for sure. For sure. She'll get there again. I believe in her. I think she will one day. Comedians like Don Rickles and even Phyllis Diller, which most of you may not know who those people are. They were amazingly entertaining, right? Amazingly entertaining. And because they were brutal and unpolitically correct, hit that nerve, right? When Leonardo Joni has a zero tolerance for woke people, you got to watch this entire thing. It's just fucking cool. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but she does a great job. Whoever put that together did a great job. Oh yeah, this is what I talk. This is the topic I want to talk about. All right, so the NFL has become. Well, let me see what I stated here. I just got to tell you this. Let's see what I stated here. The National Football League has become soft, dainty, and weak. I'm going to say it. And the reason why, I wish to God. What is this? Oh, I got to turn my AC on. It's getting kind of warm. Give me a second. Actually, before I do this, I'm going to have a quick break, if you guys don't mind. Un momento, por favor. Oh, you know what? While I'm doing that, I can just play her. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Give me a second. Leonardi.
Leonardo Joni is unapologetically savage.
What do you do for work?
I'm a photographer.
That's gay.
Quick comebacks.
Who has
You
the
can
most
just study
children?
it.
It's
You
the
can-
high-value men.
I know you have to justify why your boyfriend's cheating on you. If men can be promiscuous but women can't, who are they sleeping with? Each other?
Yes.
Your boyfriend's gay.
Brutal
And she's
timing,
fucking hot.
and moments that always get people talking. Let's dive in.
All right, look at this. We got a good old Texas cowboy on here. Huh? Texas cowboy. What's your name?
Austin.
Austin. You got some good shoulders on you, son. What do you do for work?
I'm a photographer.
That's gay.
Surrounded by hot women.
No, that's gay, dude. Do you understand that this is exactly why you're single? Do you understand that? So this is what happens to us, right, ladies? We see something that looks like a man, and then he starts talking. And we're like, it's a vagina, it's a vagina, send it back! Austin, why are you a photographer?
I had another business that fell apart and I was left with the camera gear.
That fell through? Why is that?
Real estate agent conned me out of $60,000.
Was his last name Cohen?
No, he was a Mexican, no. He was Mexican.
Okay, he was a Mexican. First of all, that's on you. Should have known when he showed up with a fucking wheelbarrow that he wasn't a real estate agent. Austin, I'm sorry. I think we'll find a good man for you one day.
And that was just the warm-up. She's only getting louder from here.
Women are retarded. There are 5 things that'll turn a woman off. Your feelings. If your girl tells you, oh, you can cry in front of me, she's testing you, and she's a demon. You shove that shit down and have a heart attack like a real man. My ex-husband cried at a song. I was so disgusted, I had to leave the fucking funeral. Being a liberal. If you start talking about things like global warming, we're thinking, why did Obama buy oceanfront property if the sea levels are rising? Splitting the bill. Like I'm gonna pay for my own kidney transplant. Being pro-gun control. What kind of man asked the government to take away his rights? What are you gonna protect me with? Your fanny pack? Being a fag. Which is the same thing as being a liberal. One of you likes getting f***ed by a dude, and the other one likes getting f***ed by the government. Either way, you're gay.
Leonardo's take on everyday life, unfiltered and relentless.
Buddy, I am getting old. I know I'm getting old because the cat calls have stopped. Ladies, you don't miss those days until they're gone, let me tell you. Well, some of you are ugly, so you don't know what I'm talking about, but that's on you. Yeah, but I remember when they stopped, I was walking down the street and I passed this white dude and he didn't say anything. And I was like, you know, he's probably gay. But then I passed a Mexican dude and he didn't say anything and I was like, uh-oh. I guess I really don't look 13 anymore, huh? Women, we only get a short window of time, right? But for dudes, it's the opposite. The older they get, the more we want them. It's like we can smell the resources on them.
Leonardo Joni. Indeed, another always consistently.
Just when you think she might slow down, she hits another one-liner that lands hard.
I used to believe in UFOs. Anybody believe in UFOs? Aliens? Yeah. I was right there with you. And then Hillary Clinton said they're real. And I said, nope, those are demons. No wonder they're so into anal.
From the absurd to the outrageous, Leonarda's not afraid to go where others won't.
I'm a conspiracy theorist. Anybody else in here like the truth? I don't trust the government for shit. I don't care what they tell me. They're like, hey, you should drink 8 glasses of water a day. I'm like, why? What's in the water? Is this why everybody's gay? Because I'm not having it. You understand? Some of you guys are like, but I'm gay. Stop drinking the tap water. What do you want me to tell you?
She even dives into full-on conspiracy mode with that signature bite.
If there was no evil in the world, there wouldn't be trans people. Any other period in history, we knew that chopping someone's genitals off was a severe and horrible punishment. Only in this upside-down, satanic-run society that we live in could people possibly say something as idiotic as that is the way of love and compassion. And too many of you have been too silent about this because you're scared and you're cowards, and now your country is overrun by Somali trans refugees who are exploiting every last dollar out of your system. Fantastic. Awesome. I hope the sports ball is worth it.
Another sharp and controversial turn. Classic Leonarda.
Tell us what you love about Austin. You've been here a year and a half. Try to explain it to the rest of the country if you can.
Okay, so I like that I don't have to think about what I'm gonna say when I do my jokes. You know, like in New York, I was like, is somebody gonna try to kick my ass after this trans joke? You know, here I'm like, somebody's gonna ask me out after this joke.
It's true.
Here,
Comedy is better here. There's no doubt about it.
here someone's gonna kick the trans person's ass after your joke.
Even when she talks about comedy itself, she keeps it raw and unapologetic.
If you're a grown man and you have allergies, you're gay. Allergies are for children. If you die, you die. This is anti-evolution. You imagine back in the day in the wild, you're in a cave, you're with your man, he's got to protect you from a tiger, and then somebody throws a peanut at him.
Short, sharp, and savage. This next one proves how quickly she can flip the room.
The UK ruled that trans women can no longer be considered women. They made a law that said in order to be classified as a woman, you have to have been born a woman. It's so crazy that we need a law to tell us something humans have known forever. Can you imagine explaining this to your grandpa who survived World War II? Hey, Grandpa, guess what? We're no longer letting men compete in women's sports. And he'd be like, what? Are you kidding me? You let women play sports?
As the set builds, Leonarda keeps pushing boundaries right to the edge.
The societies where the men just breed indiscriminately do not produce the best offspring.
How do you know that?
Because you can just study it.
Who has
You
the
can
most
just study
children?
it.
It's
You
the
can-
high-value men.
I know you have to justify why your boyfriend's cheating on you. If men can be promiscuous but women can't, who are they sleeping with? Each other?
Yes.
Your boyfriend's gay.
And to close it all out, Leonarda leaves the crowd with one last savage punchline.
You guys seen these liberals saying how they're going to get guns now because they don't feel safe in MAGA country?
That's my
Good
favorite.
luck, first of all, getting guns in all the cities where you took away gun rights. Have fun with that. I'm kind of glad that they can't because a liberal with a gun just sounds like a terrible idea.
It is a
liberal
terrible
with a gun
idea.
is like a female cop. Somebody's getting shot and that it's not going to be the right person.
Love her or hate her, Leonarda Joni knows how to command attention.
She was awesome. All right. Yeah. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Thank you. for being here, if you're still here, if you're still paying attention. I just, I'm going to get into that NFL thing. That's just, I don't know. A little ripe, but still good. Let me go to here. Kind of read what I posted here. The National Football League has become soft, dainty, and weak. Extra foam padded mushroom helmets. I mean, if you've watched the movie The Schwartz is With You. What the fuck was that? With Mel Brooks created that movie. It was a Star Wars comedy spinoff. It'll come to me. Extra padded Pro Bowls with flag football. The last Pro Bowl was a 7-on-7 game. It was fucking ridiculous. And the halftime is going to be performed by this cross-dresser, which is just going to be wonderful. People are going to fucking boo it. I think it's not going to happen now, but people know about it. To further prove how pathetic and the National Football League has become, hardcore tough women of the Legends Football League, which I watched, or X League now, which they've gone. The owner was an idiot. He fucked up, got rid of Jane Caldwell. Look her up. She was probably the most beautiful, most athletic, reminded me of somebody I knew, woman out there, and just couldn't get it together with sponsoring. All right. But it's arena. So these women played women's arena full tackle rules. Are using we're using only basically bicycle helmets, right? So if you go to this picture, this is the picture of this shithead, right? I don't know who the fuck it is. I don't care. Those are the helmets now that they're wearing. This is the stuff they use in practice. I'm like, come on, man. This is just pathetic, and I'm watching it out there. And they look like Eric Morris or Naramis. I forgot his fucking name. Spaceballs. It was the name of the movie. Spaceballs, right? It had John Candy in it. It was fucking hilarious. And it looks like Dark Helmet. That was the character's name. Dark Helmet. Oh, I got to type that in real quick. Oh my God, I can do this real fast. Right? Balls, Dark Helmet. Yeah, right here. This is what they look like now. It looks fucking retarded. Look at Eric Morris is wearing this giant helmet on his head. It's just fucking, because they always wanted to, accentuate the helmet. And it looks so flaccid. It's crazy. It's just, I don't know if you guys know this, but it looks like a fucking giant dick. It's just fucking bad. He walked around. Just thinking about that movie. If you're younger, I recommend watching that. You'll fucking just smoke a big bowl and watch that fucking movie. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah, it was Lone Star, Princess Vespa, Princess Kupo was Mel Brooks, and Barf was the dog played by John Candy. Let me just put the characters here. Right? Here's the characters. It was just hilarious. It was fucking hilarious. May the Schwartz be with you. And Joan Rivers, the person that told everybody that Michelle Obama was a trans And I've got plenty of videos if you want to see that. And she was serious about it. She wasn't fucking around. It wasn't a joke. She played a girl C-3PO. It was just hilarious. This is a great movie. But this is what these people look like. It's just so bad. Look at that. Look at these helmets. Look at the side of this guy's helmet. Look at this. This is just crazy. Where is it? Hang on. Oh, no. That's it. But this guy's helmet, it's just retarded. Look at that, number 87. Worn in NFL games. It's like, what a bunch of fucking wussies. And I posted this, and some liberal idiot, Demoncrat, posted, oh, it's better than concussions and head trauma. I'm like, that's part of the game. That's part of the fact. Why does look? What's interesting is rugby. They don't even wear helmets, and they have less incidences because it's extremely bad if you tackle above the shoulders. Right here, if you tackle above the shoulder where it's flat, if you tackle here, you're in trouble. If you tackle here, you're okay. You know, and there's a few leagues out there that have full tackle football without helmets, and they're fine. You know, and then you have these girls, right? Let's see if there's any more. Oh yeah, here's the flag football. God, that was just so pathetic to watch. I was like, oh my God, that's so bad. It was so pathetic. And then these girls are out there playing tackle football, and they look hot, and they wear whatever. It was a spin-off from Lingerie Bowl that was after the Super Bowl. But it got really big, and they started wearing better suits and better stuff. But they still liked wearing. They like showing off their butts. They like showing off their boobs. They like showing off their bodies. It attracted attention. It did pretty good, honestly. I watched it. I mean, you know, I'm a man. I love the female body. That's just, it's so attractive to me. It's genetic in my bones, in my DNA, which may be being altered by many people out there that have probably taken the mRNA. Who knows? But these chicks were brutal, man. They pulled each other's hair. Look at the top part. But look up Jane Caldwell. Actually, wait. Where's she? Jane. I think she's in my I am universal wealth. Very good. You were created for greater things, not just to be a number in the world. You were born with a calling, and the world is waiting for you to step into it. There you go. That's right, baby. Betty Lou Sakura. Is this a message or? Great. Here it is, Jane Caldwell. Now watch this chick. This was the top quarterback who won a championship at the. Look at, she's gorgeous, and she's like part New Zealandish or whatever. Oh my God, she was just so. That's one of the major reasons I watched that. She's smoking hot. Here she is, right here. Oh wait, what the fuck? I told him I used to play football. She was a quarterback, and she was just a badass. Cuter and shit, half Polynesian, I believe, like me. Yeah, we don't make bad kids. But she was tough, she was strong, she was physical, she was smart. Anyway, I'm getting kind of far away from what my point is. Yeah, Jane Caldwell is amazing. There she is. That's pretty recent. But the point that I'm making, which I'm sure that you can understand, is it's pathetic. The NFL has become pathetic. And now they have trans cheerleaders in Minnesota, of course. Right? And I think Tennessee tried to roll them out. And they said, fuck that shit. And everybody protested. Oh, here's the idiot right here, Lisa. I blocked this person. This is weird. How are they able to make a comment? Just this. Oh, God. This is a guy, by the way. Lissa Shea is a guy. Isn't that crazy? What the fuck is that person? On my Facebook, I've got like 3.5 thousand supposed friends. And when I first started my Facebook, I was a Demoncratic supporter, which I definitely am not anymore. And I'm somewhat of more of a Republican, a conservative, definitely. And I've always done better being a conservative in my life. You know, giving my life to God and Jesus, which I definitely do. And I think that's just the way. I mean, it doesn't mean I have to go to church all the time. It doesn't mean I have to, you know, I've got a Bible that's on my bed now, and I've got one right next to me, and I've watched and read a few scriptures, and it always comes out. There's always something in there that helps me. Now, whatever book or religion I create, that's my business. That's my right to do so. And Trump, I believe, is trying to help people with that. But let me go back here. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. All right. And then you got Hawaii, just Demoncrats genocide Hawaii for sure. It's Josh Green signs an emergency proclamation for COVID-19 that everybody can take it now. Oh, my God. And sadly, Hawaii is a blue state that's just gone in the way wrong direction. It's pretty bad. It's really bad, actually. You know, let me check something here real quick. Yeah, so the NFL's just fucking lost their minds. They've lost their minds. I just want to get back on topic here. Hang on. Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about the J6. Bibi not trusted. Okay, I'll get to those two things real quick. You know what? I might change that and do it tomorrow. But I'll just make a couple of comments on that. So 274, 275, close to 300. It's in that ballpark number of actual FBI assets under the illegitimate Biden administration. We now know we're with the FBI that were implanted to help instigate and create that trap for all the J6 people. I have a few people that I know that went there. They knew right off the bat when that shit was happening. They were saying, "Get in the Capitol, come in." They're waving their hands. There's videos of it. I have video of them. I have video of them. Let me see what this one is. I have video of them definitely instigating and breaking things, and Antifa was dressed. I mean, there's just so much information. And like I said, I hope that Trump can start putting away those J6 committee bullshit and exposing that giant scam, trap, lie, which it was. And I have tons of proof to prove that myself. I mean, talk to me. I'll give you tons of proof. Let me see. Japan. This is, and this goes to what I was talking about in the beginning. Democrats. I tried to sound the alarm, and did everything I could. Demoncrats, I meant to say, to provide y'all. Did I put y'all with as much information as possible on Facebook, X, Twitter, YouTube, and other social media platforms. Believe it or not, I'm still praying for you all, and may God have mercy on your souls. And then right here, this is a new study came out, probably a month or so old. New Japanese bombshell study that 18 million people vaccinated versus unvaccinated, more doses you get, the sooner you're likely to go away. Ah, interesting. City Councilman called that meeting. I think I played that last time. There's some more Charlie Kirk stuff. Right here, like I keep saying, dear Republicans, right? Dear Republicans, no, for fuck's sakes, no. We don't want any more dog and pony show congressional hearings, right? Do nothing congressional hearings. We want charges. We want arrests. We want prosecutions in jail. And that's what we want. And that's what MAGA wants. I'm a Maha MAGA kind of person. And MAS, I mean Make America Safe. MASA MAGA, and definitely that's where I'm going. Right? Call me whatever the fuck you want. And there's actually a genocidal bioweapon money machine. Here's the way that all worked. I probably should have put this up. God damn it. You know what? I'm going to save this. Give me a second. I got to put that in my things. Give me a second. I'll go on the desktop. Save. There we go. And that kind of gets into the nitty gritty of how this all works. Pretty simple. The whole process is pretty simple. Vaccine racket. Want to know the truth about vaccines? Follow the money. That's it. I'm kind of going backwards to my first point, but I should have had this in there in the beginning. But you know, it's my show. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. Let me grab. Let me see if I can. Oh, let me try. Let me see if I can grab it here. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Taxes. So, vaccine manufacturers. Defective vaccines, mercury, aluminum, formaldehyde, revolving door. You've got to, if you want this picture, just let me know. I'll send it to you. But this basically explains the whole process. The one part that doesn't explain is that the globalist predator class goal is to genocide, depopulate 2/3 of the planet so they can hoard the rest for themselves. They don't need your money. They don't need your likes. They don't need your scribes. They don't even need your business anymore. They don't. They've got enough money. They've stolen enough money. Still, we don't know where all the gold in Fort Knox is. Anybody? Bueller, Trump. They've got enough money out there. They want to keep it the way it is, right? Because they want to stay in control, and that's their goal. And they can't. It's harder to control 8 billion and a lot easier to control 3 billion. And the Deagle report that came out, that was last seen in 2017-18, clearly stated that the population of the world was supposed to go down by about 2/3, but didn't. And then they changed it and they deleted some pages. But if you go in the Wayback Machine, you can see that that's the case. And then I put that together with how they're doing it now, and they got Bill Gates, the Aryan eugenics genocidal piece of shit that he is, and there's a bunch of major players that are a part of it. But anyway, so there we go. And the other thing I was going to go through, let me see if I can grab that, and I'm going to get to that. The Bibi thing is kind of weird to me, right? And I want to go through that real fast. Netanyahu, right? Trump and Netanyahu tell Hamas to accept Gaza's ceasefire plan, and I guess this is a step towards peace. I'm kind of, I just don't trust Netanyahu. I don't think anybody trusts that fucker, honestly. I don't think anybody trusts Netanyahu, honestly. I don't think anybody fucking trusts that motherfucker. Let me see if it's in here. Yeah. Why is that not showing up? Let me try it again. This is very strange. All right, here we go. So yeah, so that they had a meeting. They were talking. I just don't trust that guy. I think he's just been well, you have to know this, and I think this is the most important part. There's one country out there that's received more money for us, for military, for finance, for support, food, whatever, all this shit. It's Israel. I know there's a lot of Jews in the United States. I know most of them like Netanyahu, but a lot of them don't, because they don't like what he's doing with Gaza and the Palestinians. Whether they're Muslim isn't the point, which Laura Loomer doesn't seem to get. The point is they're human beings, and I know that's some of the Muslim, whatever, the Brotherhood, the Six Pillars, and a few other things. They're pretty heinous, but you have to realize, and if you watch the movie Syriana with George Clooney, and I'm going to tell you right now, that exposed everything. And if you watch the movie, and they're just movies, they're not completely documentaries, or completely, and even some documentaries are bullshit. And if you watch Charlie Wilson's War and how we built Osama bin Laden, and how we create through the CIA, through special forces, we create these wars. It keeps the military-industrial complex going. Everybody knows about this shit. This stuff has been happening for a long time. Nobody's really doing anything about it. But I think Trump wants to stop the Gaza, Palestine, the murders, the deaths, the starvation. I know he does. The problem is I don't trust Netanyahu. I think he's gonna betray him. I think he's gonna betray him, and he's gonna find a way to show some way that Iran or Hamas or whatever attacked Israel again, which always happens. And that's really not the case, because October 7th isn't what they tell you what it is. Just like 9/11 isn't what they tell you, because Building 7. And whoever's feeding this crap and bullshit to Trump, I think it's Letnick, honestly. That guy, I just don't fucking trust him. There's just something about him. I mean, he's a Davos World Economic Forum bitch, basically. And he knows it, and he's proud of it. And if he's watching this, he's probably just laughing at me, or maybe he's trying to get people after him. I don't fucking know. But that guy I just don't trust. I think Laura Loomer and Letnick are because Laura Loomer gets a lot of information before even Trump announces it. And I think Letnick is the mole. I that's the only thing I can say. I just, there's something in me says that's the guy. Yeah. So they're talking about peace. They're mentioning the word peace. They're conveying that they want peace. But on what terms? And will Palestine accept it? They probably won't give them a choice, honestly. Charlie Kirk wrote of his deep love for Israel, whatever. Yeah, he does. He just doesn't like Netanyahu. I don't like Netanyahu. The guy, I think he's trouble. He's fucking just. It's that kid down the street you don't want your kids to play with. That's what he is. Don't go to that fucking house. That kid's trouble. He's going to end up in prison. Stay the fuck away from him. Right? He's that guy. And I think Netanyahu is going to betray Trump. I'm not hoping that he does. It's just his nature. He's going to find a way. And I think Trump should really pay attention to Netanyahu and how he does things. And check his his operations. And really do some investigating on him. Right? If you're going to try to fix a war, you need to do whatever you can to get the intel, and you need to make sure that all of your intel agents are not compromised, for one, because a lot of them are with Israel, which is, I don't know, everybody gets paid by diamonds or whatever, but it just seems like it's wrong. There's definitely something wrong going on. So hopefully it'll be done. Hopefully it'll be taken care of. I'm going to hope and pray that happens. Right? There's really nothing all of us can do about it right now. We can protest. We can do whatever. You can do that. Blah, blah, blah. But the bottom line is, at least he's talking about it. And another Democrat arrested for fucking corruption. Amazing. And there's that shithead. Age test. If you does everybody know what that is? Do you guys see this? This is good. Can you guys see that? Here, you can see this right here. I'm looking for, honestly, and I want to buy either a Blazer, an old Bronco, an old International. I want to have a vehicle that doesn't rely on computer technology at all. So that's my goal. And I don't care which one it is. I don't care if it's a Toyota or whatever. But as long as it does, I mean, I'll take a fucking Volkswagen, honestly. That'd be really cool. Because everything in computers, there's something telling me that I need to do that. So I'm going to do it. We are going to find out. What is that? That's a good one. The people who called the police on you when you didn't wear a mask are now saying we live in the police state. There you go. I just talked about that earlier. All right? I just talked about that earlier. All right, I'm pretty much done. Oh, let's play this before we go.
Here's a story of a guy named Barry who was spying with some very dirty friends. There was Brennan, Rice, and Clapper at the center, pushing all their shady friends. Here's a story of a man named Comey with McCabe and Peter Stroke behind the scenes. They were framing while pretending they were righteous, using lies and fake machines. Till the one day when they all began colluding, and they knew they had to try and stop the Don. So they cooked up Russiagate and phony FISA. That's the way they all became the Berry Bunch. The Berry Bunch. The Berry Bunch. That's the way they became the Berry Bunch.
F around and find out, people. Anyway, thank you for watching. This is James of Montauk. Please like and subscribe. If you need anything regarding insurance, annuities, IOLs, any questions of that nature, please let me know. I will help you out. I have the greatest team of people with Universal Wealth to help you out. If you need a student loan forgiveness program, if you're over $25,000 in debt with your student loan, let me know. I have a solution for that that you would want to look into. If you need a business loan, a small business loan from $5,000 to $5 million, let me know. Bridge loans, equipment loans, all kinds of stuff. Let me know. And there's some other things I'll be doing too. My new website, which I'm going to be creating in my app, it's called youcandoitamerica.com. Youcandoitamerica.org. And it's going to be phenomenal, and it's going to be to help people that are stuck, that need more money, that want to make money. Maybe people they're close to retirement that aren't going to be having money. There's ways out there to make money. I'm not going to give you a clickbait place. It's not going to happen with me. That's all over fucking YouTube. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a show about all those places. What they do is they get you to go to these, to fill in this information, and next thing you know, you're getting blown up on your phone with a bunch of fucking spam. It's all bullshit. I'm going to give you direct sources to actual affiliates that'll pay you money just for you referencing through through your own link, the URL that you will get a piece of. Okay, just let you know. Again, I'm going to create this. It's already in the process. I just can't wait till it happens. Let me see. YouCanDoItAmerica.com.org. Thank you very much for watching. This is James with Montauk. Aloha, 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 aloha.